is David Rowitch, and I'm the Chief of Neonatology at UCSF. And I'm going to give you a little tour of some of the new care and treatment that we're providing for babies that are at risk for neurological injury. One of the newer treatments that's become available is something called hypothermia, in which the baby's body temperature is reduced a few degrees below normal, but just that slight reduction in temperature is associated with a better neurological outcome in some patients. This treatment is currently offered to term babies that have had evidence of a lack of oxygen around the time of birth. And how that is actually being implemented is that you'll notice the baby's laying down in a blue blanket, and that is a water-cooled blanket which will maintain temperature at about 33.5 degrees centigrade, and normal body temperature is about 37 degrees centigrade. So we're making the baby hypothermic, which means a lower than normal body temperature. Now, you notice that the baby also has a kind of white cap on, and there's some wires coming out from the cap, and that is one of the monitoring leads that we use for the electroencephalogram, or EEG, which will monitor the baby's brain activity, and that can be helpful in telling us the extent of brain injury and also whether there are seizures. Along with that, the baby is also having a 24-hour video taken, and that also helps us to assess whether the baby is having seizures. And so we have a lot of equipment around the bedside. It's really all about trying to monitor the baby's vital signs and also monitor the baby's brain activity.
While we have the capability of monitoring on a 24/7 basis brain function, very few units in the country are using this monitoring. So I would say that if we could encourage brain monitoring like we monitor temperature and blood pressure in the newborn, we would be able to pick up so many more of these disabling disorders that occur in the nursery unbeknownst to us. If we're monitoring the brain continuously, we'll be able to pick that up. If we pick it up, we can treat it. If we treat it, we may potentially reduce the burden of that particular insult on the baby.
Over here we have a baby who is being monitored with amplitude integrated EEG, CFM, and this is an extremely premature baby born at 26 weeks gestational age. Most of the babies that we have cared for in the neurointensive care nursery have been full-term babies with birth asphyxia. That is the population of babies we target for cooling therapy, and that's the population of babies that the studies have been done on to validate that therapy. But we have also been using some of the monitoring techniques to monitor extremely premature babies very closely as well. I think that the first few days of life in a premature baby are pretty important to watch closely, so we've been trying to use as many means as possible to monitor these babies closely.
Well, most importantly, our ultimate goal is to develop rational therapies that can be used in the nursery that will reduce the lifelong burden of some of these disease processes like stroke. We've had great success with the cooling trials, the hypothermia for newborn brain injury in the term baby population, but that's only the beginning of trying to affect that process.